wakiwa wanatembea. Mimi naweza sema wanatembea. Tulikuwa tuna hofu sana, tena pia propaganda zilikuwa nyingi kwa kusema kweli, kwa tunasikia kuna wenye wamepigwa, wamekufa, wamepigwa lakini hawajakufa. Wako hapa, unaona wako hapa nyuma yetu. So tunashukuru Mungu kama familia, maombi yamefanya kazi. Tunawa receive in good faith. Thank you so much County Commissioner for the good work you have done. Tujalala, yeye pia jalala mpaka saa hizi, kuanzia tumekuwa tukiwangoja hapa kwa boda.
Tunataka kutangaza kwamba usiku wa leo kama saa 8 hivi tumeweza kupokea wale ndugu zetu Bob Njagi na mwenzake Nicholas Oyo ambao ilikuwa yasemekana wameshikwa kule sehemu za Uganda. Wameweza kuletwa na ambassador wa Kenya Bwana Josh Maangi pamoja na security team ya kule na wafanyakazi wa serikali ya Kenya ambao kule ambao wameambatana na huyo bwana ambassador. Hawa ndugu zetu wawili tumeweza kuwapokea wakiwa katika hali ya afya ambayo imeweza kuthibitishwa na daktari kwamba si mbaya. Tuliweza kuwapeleka hospitali baada ya kufanya clearance pale kwa Immigration Department. Wakahudumiwa hospitali. Madaktari wakasema kama wamewa discharge na waweza kurudi nyumbani. Kwa hivyo hapa tuko nao pia jamaa zao. Kuna cousin sister anaitwa Karen ambaye alipata habari hizi na amekuja.
Nitachapa kamoja kama PTC.
So glad they're back home with their families and reunited, and we wish them a great recovery from just, what they went through in Uganda. Also, a former Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, has revealed tense moments that unfolded before President William Ruto announced his new cabinet following the disbandment of the previous one after the Gen Z Anti-Finance Bill 2024 protests. Speaking during the launch of a book authored by former Attorney General Justin Muturi titled The Fight for Order on Friday in Nairobi, Gachagua narrated behind-the-scenes events that took place before the cabinet announcement. According to the former Deputy President, President William Ruto had not included anyone from the Embu region in the first batch of nominees, which prompted him to question the decision.
After the Gen Z protests, the cabinet was dissolved. And William Ruto was struggling on what to do, bring Raila and his people in, this, that, and we let him do what he wanted to do without too much argument. And he announced the first batch, and out of the positions I had negotiated for my counties where I come from, he did not appoint anybody from Embu. And I asked him why. He said, let's wait kidogo. So in the next appointment, the final one, he called me and Musalia so that we flank him to announce the last batch of cabinet. And he was in a hurry. Let's go. I said, hey, what do you mean we go? How? How do we flank you to announce what we don't know? No, wewe Rigiji, wacha maneno mingi. Musalia, let's go. I said, no, I can't. If we are flanking you to make the announcements, we must be part of what you are announcing as the usual practice. I cannot flank you to announce cabinet when I don't know who you are announcing. I cannot hear it for the first time with the rest of Kenyans and the press. So he was very angry. Then he rushed to his office. Oh, Musalia, my God. He was shaking like a leaf. Oh, Mwami. How can you challenge the president? How? Please. This is not right. I say, Musalia, my friend, do you know this announcement, your name could be missing in that paper? The only person who is safe is myself because I'm elected. So mimi hata nakusaidia. So he went and brought the list and threw it at me. I looked at it and found that JB had been dropped from Embu and he had put somebody else. And then I asked him, who is this? I don't know him. You have not consulted me. We had an agreement. Who is this? Oh, is somebody says Barida brought. I said, no. I cannot be party to that decision. Because the other time, you appointed somebody from Meru. I did not argue with you. The people of Meru were asking me, who is this? I don't know. Where is this home? I have no idea. This person I don't know. So if that is your choice, go ahead and announce. I cannot accompany you to make that announcement.
National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula has launched a scathing attack on the judiciary, accusing courts of issuing orders based on misinformation and thereby derailing legislation, policy implementation, and national development. Speaking during the 8th annual KEPSA Alliance Roundtable in Mombasa, Wetangula warned that Kenya risks self-inflicted stagnation driven by misinformation, incitement, and a culture of litigation that undermines governance and investment. His remarks came just days after the High Court suspended sections of the new cybercrimes law following a petition by former presidential candidate Reuben Kigame, which Wetangula claimed was anchored on a repealed provision of the 2018 Act.
That you as KEPSA brought to us to improve the way of doing business in Kenya. And the crank who has gone to court does not even run a kiosk in the business world. He's simply a surrogate litigant for your competitors. And these are some of the problems we're having to have a round table with KEPSA, Parliament, and Judiciary, so that they can also appreciate that injunctions are not cakes to be dished to everybody carrying a plate.
When we gave birth or consummated the Finance Bill of 2024, it became Parliament's. The private sector completely abandoned Parliament. Disinformation, misinformation killed the baby that we consummated together. It took Parliament again another 6 months of lost revenues, lost job opportunities for our young people in the country, to recraft the same finance bill into 4 different bills.
If you want to start a new industry, start it and we will defend and we will protect and we will give you incentives. But you cannot allow you to use Parliament to tax your competitors so they get out of business.
President William Ruto has officially issued a presidential proclamation transferring the management of Amboseli National Park from the national government to the county government of Kajiado. The proclamation acknowledges the park's historical ties to the Maasai community and affirms the move as part of addressing long-standing communal land claims and promoting intergenerational equity. It recognizes previous efforts to resolve the question of ownership and emphasizes the importance of involving local communities in conservation and development. The order takes effect following the signed framework between the Ministry of Tourism and the county.
Nataka nikushukuru Mheshimiwa Rais kwa sababu umewahi kurejesha Amboseli mikononi mwa community ya Maa. Umepitia kwa njia zote, ulikalisha kikao cha cabinet, tukapitisha, umepitisha kwa njia ya kisheria, na tumekuwa na sherehe hapa ambayo imeonekana na ulimwengu mzima ukirejesha Amboseli mikononi mwa Wamasai kupitia kwa county government ya Kajiado. Tunasema heko. Tunakupongeza.
Mimi nataka jamii ya Wamasai hapa Kajiado munihakikishie ya kwamba mutalinda hii conservation area na hamutaniaibisha kwamba tuliwapatia na ikaharibika. Mutachunga Wamasai? Hebu nione wala wanasema tutajunga hii Amboseli. Hebu nione wala wanasema tutajunga hii Amboseli. Huyu Lenku na viongozi wa hapa wameniambia ya kwamba nyinyi jamii ya Kajiado pia mumekubali ya kwamba ekari 1,000,000 ikizunguka hii Amboseli pia mutaifanya iwe part of the conservation area ama dispersal area. Hamutagawanya vipande vipande ili muweze kupata ile pesa inatoka hapa pia iwasaidie katika jamii zenu. Ni kweli si kweli? Ni kweli si kweli?
Kenya's private sector leaders have raised concerns over what they termed as the unsustainable size of government, warning that the economy cannot support the current 47 county administrations without overtaxing citizens. Speaking during the Speakers' Roundtable in Mombasa, Bidco Africa's CEO Vimal Shah said the economy's growth has not matched the cost of maintaining the devolved units, calling for a serious review of the government model. Shah noted that Kenya is at crossroads, either to reduce the size of government or risk burdening taxpayers further.
Current size of government is not sustainable because when we look at the pie size means the GDP of the economy is not growing 3, 4, 5 times. But we are governing it with 47 counties. So we've got 47 de facto presidents running the country. And the pie is not becoming bigger. All of them are trying to say, let's get more from the taxes. Now, who's paying the taxes? It's the wananchi paying the taxes, the business paying the taxes. And those taxes are not growing exponentially. And therefore, there are two solutions. One, pay 2, 3 times more tax, or we reduce the size of government.
Kenya is the 6th largest economy in Africa. What will it take for us to be number 1, or at least top 3? And that's why our theme this year for the Speakers Roundtable is policy to practice. Can we move from the policies we've created that are so excellent to move this country forward to practice? Can we implement them so that now we can get Kenya to where it is? You've heard, we all talk about our macros, our interest rate, our shilling, everything is stable. That's the macro. But when we get to the ground, the common mwananchi, the Wanjiko, the SME, the companies, even the big companies, they're still saying there's a pinch. So where is it hurting? Why is the policy not translating to practice? And that's what we are trying to address today. And so by evening today, we'll have looked at the state of the economy and saying, this is where the state of the economy is. The macros are working. What we need to focus on is the micro.
The Political Parties Liaison Committee has called for a review of the political parties' fund allocation formula, terming the current system unfair to smaller parties. Newly elected officials say the existing distribution framework disproportionately benefits major parties, making it difficult for smaller parties to operate effectively across the country. Speaking after being re-elected during the committee's national elections held at the Lake Naivasha Resort, Chairperson Evans Misati of the Progressive Party of Kenya said the committee will prioritize reforms to ensure equitable distribution of resources.
My appeal to Kenyans, particularly the Gen Zs, is like they had a very big fight on issues of they have been left behind in the past. My message is very clear. There is nothing they can change without having fought, being as voters. So it's upon them. I know Kenyans like doing things the last minute, but they have created a long perception. So nobody will take the Gen Zs serious anymore until we see that they are registering as voters.
Dialogue platform, and we need to ensure there is peace, dialogue, and fair elections. IBC, I think for the first time we have a committee that we can trust, and this is just a litmus for what to expect in 2027 general election. So we are hopeful that things will go well and Kenya will be united as we've all wanted it to be.
Basically, my work here is to look for funds. As you can hear, we are affected by the PPF and bring inclusivity to all the parties, because that is what will make this nation move forward as equals.
I would like to say about the elections, the PPSC elections of today, is that it was very successful, and IEBC should remain steadfast for Kenyans to believe in them, because the election was very peaceful and very transparent. We hope that so many people are wrangling after the death of Baba, our father. But I'll urge them just to cool down till the dust settles, because it's too early to know who is going to take over from Raila Odinga. It's not going to be easy. It's not 2 years, 3 years, or 5 years. It can even take 10 years. Because Raila himself, when he took over from the father, he did not take it immediately. It's something that grew gradually till it went where.
Now, the clergy under the umbrella Pentecostal Voice of Kenya have condemned the killings and brutality meted out on Kenyans during Tanzania's election period. The clergy have also condemned the silence of the Kenyan government in protecting its citizens in Tanzania, adding that Kenyans have a right to live in a foreign country and deserve necessary protection. The religious leaders have demanded that the government disclose the exact number of Kenyans killed in Tanzania, saying families are suffering as no official information has been communicated.
The government is not. Tunaona ni kwamba kama PVK serikali haifanyi vile inatakana vikamilifu. Kile tunajua ni kwamba serikali iko na uwezo na inaenda hatua zaidi ili Wakenya waweze kuwa safe wanapofanya kazi ng'ambo.
We also call upon the government of our foreign nations, particularly East African neighbors, to respect the basic rights and freedoms of Kenyans in their country, in adherence to UN and regional human rights conventions and protocols.
Former President Uhuru Kenyatta has called on a new generation of graduates to embrace ethical leadership, emphasizing integrity, justice and peace. He made the remarks during the 2024-2025 Kenyatta Trust graduation dinner held in Nairobi on Friday evening, which celebrated 41 scholars who completed their undergraduate and tertiary studies across various institutions. Accompanied by former First Lady Margaret Kenyatta, the former head of state underscored the importance of courage amongst the young people in addressing leadership gaps.
Gained wisdom that goes far beyond academic certificates. You have learned the timeless lesson that strength lies in unity. You have learned that the bonds that sustain our nation are woven from mutual tolerance and respect. Keep in mind your sacred duty that indeed we are our brothers and sisters' keeper. This, truly, brothers and sisters, is the spirit that Kenya needs now, more than ever. We need young men who see themselves not through the narrow lens of tribe or region, but as a people bound by a shared destiny. Nation building, my friends, as I have said, is not at looking at self. It begins with this very ability to look at one another and to see equal partners, both in hope and in purpose. So graduates, this is the charge that we lay before you today. Go out into this world of ours that is full of problems and challenges. Go out into this world with humility. Go out with courage. Go out with purpose. Go out with the willingness to learn, but also to lead. And lead with commitment to justice. Lead with commitment to peace. Let this be those that burn in your heart.
First Lady Rachel Ruto has hailed the quick and collective response in helping the Elgeyo Marakwet landslide victims. While condoling the affected families at Chesongoch grounds on Saturday, the First Lady said the government will continue to support the affected families. A total of 37 deaths have been recorded, while a search for 11 more is still ongoing, saying it was sad that a family lost up to 9 members. She promised to support conservation efforts along the escarpments which are prone to landslides. Now, the First Lady also donated assorted goods in support of the affected families, and she was accompanied by Cabinet Secretaries Kipchumba Murkomen of Interior, Geoffrey Ruko of Public Service, and Davis Chirchir of Roads and Transport. Others were Governor Wesley Rotich of Elgeyo Marakwet, Stephen Sang of Nandi, Senator William Kisang of Elgeyo Marakwet, Kangogo Bowen of Marakwet East, Adams Kipsanai, Keyo North, and Caroline Ngelenchei, women representative of Elgeyo Marakwet.
Niseme kwamba serikali imefanya jambo la maana sana. Serikali yetu ikiongozwa na rais wetu Mheshimiwa William Ruto kuweza kutuma viongozi ambao waliweza kukuja hapa kwa dharura ili kukuja kusaidia watu. Na hilo ndio jambo la maana sana. Hata mimi nitamani kukuja hapo mapema, lakini nashukuru Mungu maana nimeweza kufika siku ya leo.
Sisi tumekuja kama jamii ya Nandi kuja kuwaambia watu wa Elgeyo Marakwet tuko pamoja na nyinyi. Na sio tu juzi na leo, tutakuwa pamoja na nyinyi mpaka ile wakati tutasaidiana katika mambo ya mazishi, lakini pia kurudisha hali ya maisha irudi kawaida.
Hao watu wametabika na hizi maneno ya banditry huku, maneno ya landslide pande hii, na tena kuna maneno ya wildlife hapa elephants. Tuko na elephants wamemaliza chakula hapa yote. Hata ile kidogo uliona hapa, ukiona hapa kidogo ile unaona tu hapa, hawa elephants wanakuja mpaka hapa, mpaka kwa hii compound ya kanisa. So na tunaambiwa tujunge, sasa tusijui tutachunga mpaka lini.
Shukuru pia watu kutoka sehemu mingi, tumeona maaskofu, tumeona watu kutoka tabaka mbalimbali ambao wamekuja kuomboleza na sisi, na tunasema hiyo ni umoja na bidii na umoja ambaye tuko naye kama watu wa sehemu hii. Ya tatu ni kushukuru serikali na Mheshimiwa Rais kwa ile support ambaye watu wa sehemu hii yetu walipata hasa wakati huu wa janga ambaye imetupata. We shall forever be grateful kwa support ya serikali, na tumwambia Rais kwamba tumeshukuru sana.
On the same breath, the government has taken measures to help the victims of the Marakwet landslide by relocating the affected families to safe areas, providing mental health support and basic necessities. Speaking during a tree planting event in Kongit Forest, Mount Elgon, Environment CS Deborah Baraza highlighted the ministry's efforts to curb the aftermath of the mudslide incident that left more than 6,000 homesteads affected and many families displaced. Baraza outlined the government's long-term restoration plan, which involved the Ministry of Water addressing the overflow of water into people's homes, the Ministry of Agriculture overseeing the situation of families who lost crops to the floods, and the Ministry of Environment supporting restoration efforts.
The landslides at Elgeyo Marakwet, Chisongoch region, and Trans Nzoia, Nanjala, where there is flooding and overflow of water into the homesteads, displacing many families. More than 6,000 homesteads have been affected. And this is indeed a disaster which the national government is responding to in short term and in long term, with the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Forestry as well, supporting in restoration. In short term, what we have done, we've been able to move the victims, the affected homesteads, to an area that is safe and healthy and clean, ensuring that they are secure. We have been able to provide food for the communities, as well as other non-food items such as blankets, mattresses, among others, to ensure that they are safe and warm in these areas.
We must support this conservation, and you realize that there are landslides all over the country now. One has just taken place in Elgeyo Marakwet, and we hope with this kind of support that is happening all over the country, this problem could easily be solved, and we urge everybody to help the presidential directive in realizing this objective.
Yale maafa ambayo yamekuwa huko Elgeyo Marakwet inatokana na miti ambayo imekatwa, udongo ukikosa, mizizi ya miti ambayo inaishikilia inaporomoka, inaleta maafa ya kuua wananchi na kuharibu mimea ambayo wananchi wameweka. Kwa hivyo miti ni ya muhimu sana lazima tupande miti.
Kericho Deputy Governor Engineer Frederick Kirui, for the 4th time, snapped yet another reconciliatory meeting called by clergy to find a lasting solution to the disagreements between him and the County Governor Dr. Eric Mutai, as well as the County Assembly by extension. The meeting, which was scheduled to take place at the International Training Center in Kericho, was graced by Governor Mutai, Senate Majority Leader Aaron Cheruiyot, Assembly Speaker and members of the Parliament and clergy. And the Deputy Governor gave the meeting a wide berth.
We have been in this process. I've met various members of we've met as groups with the County Assembly, we've met with the Governor, we have met with the Senator, we've also met now as a whole team. And I just want to say we're so grateful that the desire for the leaders of Kericho to work together is palpable.
We have results today, and I want to appreciate everybody who made their time, that we need to keep the county move forward together. We have embraced each other, embraced reconciliation, and not just reconciliation, but a reconciliation with a clear intent to make sure that in the remaining few years, we are able to deliver our services to the people of Kericho. The Bishop have made it clear that our people still need water, our people still need proper education through the ICDs, our people still need roads, our people still need medicine in the hospitals, and other development.
Tumeweza kuwa na hiyo makubaliano ambayo tunaweza sema ni ya kihistoria. Kaunti yetu ya Kericho iko katika njia inayofaa, na kwa maamuzi ambayo imefikiwa siku ya leo, tuna matarajio ya kwamba sasa mipango ya maendeleo itaendelea na uongozi itaendelea kuwa imara, na kaunti yetu ya Kericho itazidi kuinuka siku zote.
All right, that is where we want to wrap up the broadcast tonight, but quite a worrying state of affairs in Kericho if the Deputy Governor can fail to show up on grounds of, there's no willingness to curb corruption and deal with cartels within the county government, and yet he should have been in that meeting to have those conversations with the leaders that were present. We'll be looking to see how exactly that pans out, but allow me to call it a night. My name is Cynthia Nanjala. Have yourself a wonderful night ahead and a blessed Sunday ahead.